Right guys, welcome back. We might as well see this through to the bitter end and get this asset sort of semi-usable in Engine. So we're still in Unreal. What we're going to do is just build a master material for our fence asset, and I'll show you how we can hook that up in Houdini so it'll automatically pick the correct material. So let's just create a new material. I'm going to call this MM for master material. We'll call this fence tool, and double click to open the material editor. So we'll just use a standard shader, it's fine. We'll put down a vertex color. So this is going to read the vertex color off the geometry that it's assigned to. And then I guess we could put down some vector 3s. So we'll have 2 of them. So I'm just holding down 3 and left clicking on the canvas there to put down 2 vector 3 parameters, a constant color if you like. And then we can put down a linear interpolate, which is essentially just going to blend between these 2 inputs based on a value. So the value we want is, well, we know because we've designed it, is our red vertex color. And taking this further, you could use the vertex color in Houdini to populate the G and the B, very common way of packing your masks into an RGB vertex color. In this case, we've only got one gradient, but you could sort of do like a top-down mask for like snow or something like that. There's tons and tons of options. We'll plug that into our base color, keep it nice and simple, and then just as a starting point, we'll assign some kind of woody colors for our fence. I'll just copy and paste that one and make this one a little bit darker, so we get that gradient effect as it blends up through there. And then we'll convert those to parameters as well. So with right click and just give these some names, color B and color A. Alright, and we'll save that. That is our dead simple material. Close that. And we'll make an instance of that. So we'll right click on it and we'll call this material underscore wood fence. Close enough. And now you can see in this material now we've got our 2 parameters there for the different colors. Alright, so what we want is for our asset to pick this material up when it loads in. Okay, so we can do that by referencing it in our digital asset. So what I'm going to do is just grab a reference to this material. So I'm going to right click and then copy the reference, okay, and then jump back over into Houdini and then go into our digital asset, and right at the very end here we can assign the material using an Unreal material node. Okay, so let's put that down. Okay, put the display flag on there. So all this is an attribute create node. We're just creating an attribute on our geometry that says, oh, by the way, you've got to use this material. Okay, so Unreal Engine will recognize this attribute and it will pull the correct material from its location in your project. So the field that we need to populate is this string here, and you can see Houdini is giving us a bit of a hint at what it's looking for, a relative path to the shader inside the Unreal project. So if I Control V to post that reference that we created, it's going to populate that. Okay, so with that attribute assigned, I can press U to jump up a level, and if we save our digital asset, so save asset fence tool, so that will save it on disk and it will save it in the engine as well. And what we can do now is just rebuild this asset because we've changed the digital asset. So if I find the asset in our project, right click on it, and then rebuild all assets, rebuild all instances there. So that will force Houdini Engine to just recompute everything, and it's going to do some thinking. And there you go, you can see it's pulled that material for us. It looks like we've got our colours the wrong way around, so let's just open up our material instance and just swap those colours. So something like that, and then save that. So there you go, you can see that our shader's now using the vertex color to drive that shader blending. And like I said, it's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to working with vertex color and all these cool shader effects that you can do. But ultimately, there we go, there's our digital asset that will has got parameters as we were asked to do, so we can come back and make changes. So we can say 0.25, change that. We can set that down to say 0.25 to add some more. Maybe 0.3 seems to work well, doesn't it? And also, taking it forward, there's a couple more things we can do to really optimize our asset. So at the moment, we're not making use of any instancing, which is kind of, you know, it's a useful thing to do. Currently, we're sat at 2,700 polygons, which is not a great amount by any stretch of the imagination. But what we can do is we can instance all this geometry, because we're essentially using one piece of geometry for the fence post, one piece of geometry for the corner bit, and one piece. So we could instance all that down, so we're only so we're being more efficient. And that is just a very simple matter of just on our copy to points node, you'll see this little checkbox here for pack and instance. So if we check that, what that will tell the engine is, rather than treating this as a single piece of geometry, just instance these fence posts on it. So suddenly we've gone from using 2,000 individual polygons and maybe like say 10,000 vertices that the graphics card's got to keep track of, and now we're just keeping track of one instance of this, which is 50 polygons, and one instance of this, which is 100 polygons. So in essence, we could infinitely populate our map with these fences with absolutely minimal, like literally barely any overhead. And instancing is sort of a core part of game engine technology. You know, it's one of the key features that we rely on to make these massive environments. So with that instancing setup, we've also made our system super efficient as well, because once we've finished with our digital asset, we can bake it out into an Unreal actor, and then it's actually, we break that connection between the digital asset, and then we're just left with an Unreal actor. Okay, so that's one way you can do that. And when we're if we use instancing, we're only going to be referencing one fence post and one corner post, so it's mega efficient. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. If you've made it through all these videos, seriously, well done. If you've got any comments or questions about this, you know I'm on Teams. I'm always happy to talk about Houdini, so feel free to drop me a message. And yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.